Coming up, the men's mile. And the question begs, can Joe Falcon shatter the 350 barrier on U.S. soil? We'll see when the New York Games continue. Confluence of the Harlem and Hudson Rivers at Columbia's Wheeling Stadium, where the heat and wind have had an effect on the performances in the New York Games thus far. CBS 3 minutes, 51 and 1/10 seconds. That world and American record time has since been bested many times, but never outdoors in America.
3.9 on the clock. It looks like he has not run the 350 mile, but we may have a new world record in the mile run.
Enter Joe Falcon. Just last month in Oslo, this stunning finish established him as the top miler in the world. Now Falcon wants to set a new standard on his home turf.
I've asked for the pace. I want to try to run in a 351.1, the record. I think if you ask for the pace, you need to make a conscious effort to go for that. And, you know, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm going to get behind the rabbit. I'm going to run as hard as I can.
That sort of aggressive attitude is what may help Joe Falcon to be the first American to be ranked #1 in the world since Marty LaCourie in 1971.
And the world record, 346.32. Steve Cram of Great Britain established that in Oslo in 1985. There's a look at the field as they approach the line now for the start of the mile.
Fourth from the right is Marcus O'Sullivan. He won this race a year ago.
No question but the fact we do expect a fast mile here. Joe Falcon, as you heard, very outspoken, wants to be aggressive, asked for the pace for the first time in his career.
And he's asked Stanley Redwine, who we see taking the early lead, to run a pace that will take him through about 56 seconds at the quarter mile, 1 minute 53.5 at the half mile, and 2 minutes 52 at the three-quarter mile. A very ambitious pace considering the heavy winds.
Redwine looks like he's way out in front now. Explain the pace of the rabbit.
Well, the rabbit needs to get out and lead gradually into the sort of pace that a runner like Falcon has asked for. By going out so quickly, he's opened up a gap on Falcon, and now as they come into the home stretch where the wind is blowing against them, he's not going to be helping Falcon relax at all.
Behind Redwine, Joe Falcon, Marcus O'Sullivan, and Nakayama in the all-white.
They're coming up to that first quarter mile split. They'll have 3 more laps to go, and you can see Redwine's just too far ahead. Redwine hits the pace perfectly, 56.5. Falcon's a bit slower than that, though.
Already they're starting to pull away from the pack.
Looks like Marcus O'Sullivan in third. He's known more as an indoor runner, although he had a big victory in this meet a year ago. He says, I don't want to be considered just an indoor runner. I want to be an outdoor specialist also.
Talking to Falcon yesterday, he said the losses in his career have given him a solid attitude, a strive-for type of attitude that has built his character.
Well, he really has bounced back at the 1988 Olympic trials. He finished 11th in the 1,500 meters. People thought he would finish among the top 3 and make the Olympic team. The last 2 years, he's really come on strong. A 351 mile a year ago and 349.3 already this year.
And we saw him 2 years ago at the NCAAs where he was just literally pushed out of the way.
Well, he did win 6 NCAA titles while at Arkansas, and he's had to work very, very hard just to keep this pace going because Stanley Redwine has always been just a little bit too far ahead, and they go through at 155.3. That's almost 2 seconds off what they were looking for.
Stanley Redwine still out in front. Joe Falcon following him. Marcus O'Sullivan, Maurice Smith, and Jim Spivey now behind Falcon.
I'll tell you, Falcon's had an interesting advisor this year. He met Sir Roger Bannister at April's 10 relays. Bannister said, hey, do you drink carbonated drinks, beers, soft drinks, whatever? Falcon said, yes. He said, stop doing that. That robs your body of oxygen. Falcon hasn't had a drink since.
Redwine drops out now as Falcon tries to take the race over himself. Falcon is a very interesting character. He comes in, he's a football fanatic, basketball fanatic, likes to prognosticate out of the University of Arkansas.
Hey, I met with him last December. He said, I'll give you the Final 4 in basketball right now. He picked 2 of the Final 4. Of course, Arkansas was one of them.
He didn't want to talk to us about this meet other than setting the record. He wanted to talk about the football season.
I'll tell you, Tim, the record is in trouble here. He's having to do so much work on his own as they come up to 1 lap to go. 2:56. That's 4 seconds off of the pace he wanted. His rhythm is still pretty good, though.
Trying to take it up here. Really trying to push the pace now. It's Falcon, followed by Marcus O'Sullivan. Smith is in third, and Jim Spivey now in fourth.
But this is so tough. When he won the Oslo Dream Mile, he was the one that came from behind. He could key off the others. Here he's doing all the work himself.
The American mark set by Steve Scott, 3:47.69. He's going after the fastest mile ever on U.S. soil.
There's Eamon Coughlin has run 349.78 indoors in the U.S. No one's ever broken Jim Ryan's 351.1, and Falcon's not only going to not do that, he's in trouble in this race now.
They're starting to reel him in. Marcus O'Sullivan gaining ground. Maurice Smith now making a charge on O'Sullivan. Falcon in the lead, but here comes O'Sullivan and Smith. Falcon's going to win it, and it looks like O'Sullivan followed by Smith.
Great finishes for those two guys. But I tell you, they tell you not to look at your opponents when you're racing. Joe Falcon took about 10 looks in that last lap.
No question, Craig, he was struggling, and he did not have a chance to do what he set out to do, and that's break Jim Ryan's 351.1.
Hey, the wind had a lot to do with that. When you run for time, you carry a heavy burden, and here it's a race for survival in the last few meters as he looks 1, 2, 3, 4 times before the finish line, but he hangs on for the win.
So Joe Falcon holds on in a disappointing 355.33, barely edging out Marcus O'Sullivan, and Maurice Smith came in third with a personal best. Jim Spivey finished fourth. Right now, let's go down to Dwight Stones, who's in the infield with Joe Falcon.
Joe Falcon, you came here for a fast time. You ended up with a race on your hands.
It was a very good race, you know. I thought that 153, 251 was very possible. The first quarter wasn't so bad, but the wind really took its toll on me over the second lap, and in particularly once the rabbit dropped out, the 600 meters that I ran on my own. It wasn't very easy at all. All the way to home straightaway, both laps I was struggling because the wind was pushing me back.
Are you disappointed with the way the race turned out?
I really am. I mean, I'm happy that I won. Don't get me wrong on that, but I would really like to. I know I'm in shape to run very fast. I've proven that. And it would have been great to do it in the United States, you know. New York, the fans were great, and they were really cheering for me before the start, so I'm disappointed that I couldn't get the time for them.
All right, good luck to you for the rest of the season.
Thanks, Dwight.